We've been out here in St. Johns County for the last 2 hours, and I can tell you here at St. Augustine Beach, the wind has really picked up. I want you to go ahead and take a look at this. You'll notice the double flags are out on the beach right now, letting people know that, again, the water is closed to the public, and that's because we're having the danger of rip currents this morning. It doesn't matter if you're a strong swimmer because you can still get caught up in those rip currents. I want you to go ahead and take a look at the beach now, and this is where we've noticed the shoreline. Not everyone is heeding that warning. This morning we counted a few people that were actually jumping in and swimming in the water because there's that risk of rip currents. Again, dangerous conditions out here in the water. Let's go ahead and take a look. You'll notice how choppy these waves are, causing a lot of that beach erosion that we've been talking about all throughout the morning. Police tell me that Carter doesn't live in this neighborhood. The sheriff's office says the 28-year-old was visiting from Atlanta, Georgia. When police arrived, they found Carter naked. He was holding a shotgun and a gas canister. He's hoping to recruit 500 people between his office here in Fleming Island and the one they have in Jacksonville. They said that they want to create a vaccine that would be available in the next 12 to 15 months. You could actually go out to 6 different locations. We're over here at North Beach Park in Volano Beach, and I want you to take a look right behind me. You'll notice there's already those mounds of sand that are out here this morning. And again, it's not required to wear one of these face masks, but it is highly encouraged. I want you to go ahead and take a look. You'll see that a lot of the signs in this library, they are encouraging social distancing, the 6 feet apart. And you'll notice that they blocked off the children's section over here. The captain tells me that his crew spent 5 days out on the water battling the flames of the cargo ship. They went through about 18 million gallons of water each day. If you look right above me, you can see the fire monitor that crews use to cool off. A neighbor across the street says he saw the flames at around 2 a.m. and that's when he rushed in to go help his neighbors across the street. I want you to go ahead and take a look. Now that home is completely destroyed. You can see all the damage here. There's investigators that are still out here this morning. It looks like a crater. The whole home just completely collapsed. I spoke with a friend of the victim's mother off camera. She tells me that a gun was left out and the family didn't know about it. She says that the little boy may have gotten a hold of the gun thinking that it was a toy. Now this morning we watched as neighbors came out and they dropped off these stuffed animals right in front of the home. We're actually standing across the street from the Gate gas station where police say there was an armed robbery earlier this morning. I want you to go ahead and take a look at the gas station now. You can see that it's open, but it was a very different scene when we got out here at 4:30. That's where police had crime scene tape up and their investigation. This local car wash says pay attention to the surfaces that you touch the most. The steering wheel, for example, has 4 times the amount of bacteria that the average toilet seat has. And the coronavirus can live on some surfaces for hours or even days. Dr. Soleimani told me that all 3 locations are booked for today. The Southside location even posted this sign letting people know that they have to make an appointment online. We're told that you'll usually get your results back in about 24 hours.
News Jack's Alicia Tarancon spoke with some parents who are still opting to keep their kids online next year.
Parents and educators circled the St. Johns County School Board building, waving signs from their cars Tuesday morning. Many, like Sarah Gledhill, were protesting the state's emergency order to start school back up 5 days a week in August.
I'm not comfortable returning to school. My own employee has us working remotely. We have tons of friends and family who are working remotely. So why would we then put our children back in school when so many of our employees have us working remotely at this time?
Inside, the school board voted unanimously to push the start of school back to August 31st, 3 weeks after the original start date of August 10th. Superintendent Tim Forson says there needs to be more time to train teachers, and there's also safety concerns with the Republican National Convention in town the same time that classes are being held. Despite the new start date, parents like Gledhill feel better keeping their children at home during the pandemic.
There's too many unknowns. And really, is you tell them how many deaths does it take for us to justify the risk?
Right now, more than 33,000 students are enrolled to be back inside the classroom. That's 69% of total students. 23% have been signed up to do school-based distance learning. The rest of the students are planning on St. Johns County virtual school or homeschooling. The St. Johns County School District tells me with the new start date in place, classes will now end on June 15th. Reporting in St. Johns County, Alicia Tarancon, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jack.
Protests started at the Duval County Courthouse this morning and ended with at least one arrest. And as Action News Jack's Alicia Tarancon reports, one man tried to instigate violence among a group of peaceful protesters.
To see, we don't just have black people out here. We have our strong, non-black out here. It makes the world different.
More than 100 Black Lives Matter protesters gathered outside the Duval County Courthouse holding signs. Pharrell Blood told me she couldn't sit back and do nothing after the recent killing of George Floyd.
George Floyd, the CNN reporter, all of that stuff, it just flooded the news, and I woke up one day and I just had tears in my eyes.
Others held signs demanding justice for Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and Jamie Johnson. After the protests, people started marching through the streets of downtown Jacksonville. A few times they stopped traffic and JSO stepped in. Another demonstrator tells me that one of the protesters tried to instigate violence.
He basically came down to the courthouse and he was like, hey, are you guys ready today? Are you guys ready to fight? And, we were like, no, because we just wanted to have a peaceful protest.
Our cameras were rolling when police took that man into custody. At times, it became tense when the crowd refused JSO's orders to get out of the street. Police switched on their body cameras when people knelt down and blocked traffic. On Saturday, Action News Jax showed you the aftermath of a protest that got out of hand. Blue tells me that's not what these rallies are about. It's about racial injustice and ending police brutality.
We're just out here just to get our point across. We're not out here to stir up violence.
Reporting in downtown, Alicia Tarancon, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
Now, again, I was
battling COVID-19 for 3 weeks. For a time, some weren't sure that he would even survive. Action News Jax, Alicia Tarancon talked to Lieutenant Dan Carswell about his recovery and return to work.
Lieutenant Dan Carswell returned to work here at the St. Augustine Beach Police Department. 2 months ago, he was in the hospital, hooked up to a ventilator, fighting for his life. This is the sound of cheers and clapping filling the hallways of Flagler Hospital, St. Augustine. A month ago, Lieutenant Dan Carswell was finally able to go home after fighting COVID-19. He told me his symptoms first began during the second week of spring break.
That weekend, I started to feel like I was catching the flu. Just had the body aches and chills.
Lieutenant Carswell was tested immediately for COVID-19 and sent home to quarantine. As he waited for his results to come back, his symptoms got worse. At one point, he couldn't make it out of bed. That's when he was rushed to the hospital, shortly after his test results came back positive.
They gave me a 10% chance of living. My liver and kidneys were shutting down, and I wasn't responding to the treatment.
For 4 days, he was hooked up to the ventilator in the ICU. Slowly, his symptoms began improving.
When we got a chance to finally talk to him and they took him off the ventilator, it was just a true miracle.
Carswell says it's all thanks to the doctors and nurses working tirelessly to save his life.
They treated me like a person and not a patient with an infectious disease.
Right now, the 39-year-old lieutenant is taking it day by day. His family back at the police department bought him a treadmill to help him get his strength back.
I just feel blessed to be where I am now.
Reporting in St. Augustine Beach, Alicia Tarancon, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.